Morning guys, it's Lee from Rhino Lures and Skulldrag Industries. I'm heading out this morning with young Billy. Billy's coming out to try and rack up his personal best on a flathead this morning. So we'll see what we can do. We've just pulled up a deep water ramp. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty good day today. We've actually got pretty high barometric pressure. Wind's not due to come up for a couple of hours. Might even be some prawns around, so we'll see how we go. If the prawns are around, the fish should be not far away. So alright guys, so today when we head out we're going to be looking at just a few techniques for soft plastics. Ever since we started the Soft Plastics Anonymous page, we've been getting quite a lot of interest in a lot of people that are just starting out in soft plastics, not particularly sure of what they're doing. A lot of them that have actually spent, you know, probably quite a bit of money on soft plastics but never actually caught anything. So so we're going to concentrate on a few techniques today. Going to be running through those with Billy, and hopefully you guys will find some benefit in that, and we'll look at making sure that we can get this post up online as quickly as we can. Just try and help a few people out. So alright guys, we're on the water, we're on our way. We're getting away from this ramp, that's for sure, because the mozzies are extremely ferocious this morning, but it's looking like a cracker day, and hopefully it's going to be a good one on the water. Okay guys, so we're out on the water. Now what we're looking for is areas where your flathead are going to actually concentrate. Now if you have a look behind us here, you'll actually see it's low tide and the water has essentially drained off of our flats, and out on the edge of there is actually quite a fair bit of bait movement, and as we move around you can actually see there's the mouth of one of the little tributaries. Now as the tide runs out, the fish are going to concentrate at the mouths of those sorts of areas, because that's where your bait fish are going to drain off of the flats and they're going to come off into that deeper water. So we're going to give it a bit of a go here. So pretty important that you use a bit of a catch scent while you're out doing that. The Rhino lures have actually got a catch scent baked into the actual DNA, if you will, of the lure, but always like to just put a little bit on, just and really it's kind of got like an aniseed base. Not really quite sure what's in it, but the whole idea is it just actually removes that bit of a human smell that comes with it, or taste if you like, and it's just enough to just get them a trigger to bite when they get close. So fingers crossed. So getting towards the bottom of the tide, when you're fishing a sandbank and you're wading, it's always a really good idea to position your cast and sort of cover your water. We just spooked a nice flathead just ahead of us here as we were walking. We've come up behind him, and he obviously hasn't seen any of our lures, and we've got it nearly on top of him. So generally by staging your throws like here and then here and then here, so you're fanning your throws out and you're covering as much water as you possibly can. So one of the things that you need to be careful of while you're wading the flats, things like stingrays. Now you can almost see this little bloke in the water. I'll show you. He's right underneath the tip of my plastic there, and you'll see just that slight discoloration, the ripples of the sand that you can't see, but what does stick out is the tail, and you can see it right back down here. So he's sitting up in knee-deep water, and very easy to sort of stumble on one of those and him give you a whip with a tail, and his spike's about here. Now guys, just a couple of important points I wanted to make about soft plastic fishing. You know, it's one of those things that when you first start off, you are not sure, and you actually have to have a bit of faith in what you're doing. And I know that goes with a lot of things in life, but it is really all about making sure that you've got all the things that you need, and you're armed with the techniques when you go out there. Now, soft plastic fishing is not easy. It's not an easy thing to start. It's not an easy thing to break into. But once you get going with it and you start to crack the code and you start to understand what actually makes the fish bite and where they are, then that's going to make all the difference. But I can't stress enough that it is one of those things that you really need just to keep honing your skills and your practice. If you go out, and like when I first started soft plastics fishing, I used to go out, but we always used to take bait. And it was one of those things that you threw the plastic a few times and then all of a sudden you went, oh, you know what's easier, I'll just chuck some bait on, and we went bait fishing. But what we started to realize after a while is that the quality of the fish that you're catching on a soft plastic is generally a lot higher. And so you're getting better fish. Okay, you might not get as many of them, but it's much more satisfying. Plus, you don't have to deal with messy bait or the cost of bait. Lures are expensive enough, but bait is one of those expendable costs. At least with lures, you have them until you lose them or you buy more. So it is one of those things. So when you do start off soft plastics fishing, you just have to stick with it. And I can't stress it enough. If you stick with it, it will pay off. But you really have to make sure that you stick with it. I don't take bait a lot of the times when I go fishing these days because it forces me to make sure that I use the plastics and try techniques and sit down and work out what's going on with the fish at the particular time. Because if you don't spend that time on the water looking and learning and observing and trying to actually work out what's going on, you're never actually going to be able to read the water, and you're never actually going to be able to catch fish consistently. So I guess the biggest tip I can give everybody out there is that just keep going. Don't give up. You'll give up one try too soon, and trust me, it's not worth it. You've invested so much time and effort into it. Keep going. You will get there. They are easy to catch. Trust me, it just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of know-how until you get it right. So keep on going, guys. You got this. Oh yes, we got a fish. It's a good one too. It's coming up in the shallows. Watch out, man. There he is. What do we got? Oh, good drag. Oh, he's not done yet. He was up real shallow too, in that pond area there. Here he comes. Alright, so I'm going to get a net out now. I'm just going to show you a little bit about how to land your fish. Hopefully he stays on long enough. So he's tangled a little bit, just don't get too close, mate. So we bring him over and we just want to lay him head first into the net like that, and you can see that settles him down now. He's only fairly small, he's probably not big enough to keep, but we'll let him go. Now you can see that he's, now this is the landing net that we're using here is the Skulldrag sidearm, and you can see you can just leave it in the water and keep your fish alive while you sort it out. You need to watch out they don't jump. Now you can see just spat that lure out. So I'll give you that one, mate. So you can see now the net is actually designed to be 40 millimeters from here to there, which is the legal size for flathead in Queensland. So you can see he's not stressed at all, that fish. He's sitting there quite happily. We're going to let him go in a second and we'll see how he goes. Right, so it's important, guys, that after you've actually caught a fish, you reapply your catch scent. Obviously you're going to be handling the fish and your lure, and you just a little bit of extra catch scent after that. It's probably always a good idea. And look, every few throws you probably want to update it a little bit. It's really just a matter of preference. I find maybe during a session on a sandbank we might actually reapply that maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. So it's always a good idea if you're having a bit of a break that you should actually reapply your catch scent, just in case, because you never know, the the next fish, or the next bite that you get could be the fish of a lifetime. So you're wanting to get hooked and you're wanting to swallow it right down. So just remember, guys, always replace your catch scent every now and again, especially when you feel it's not slimy anymore, because this stuff's quite slimy. So once you pull your line in, if it's not real slimy, then yeah, you want to reapply your catch scent. So that little flathead took the little ghost wriggler, and you can see this has got the 1/8 football jig head from Rhino lures, and a little needle sharp hook. So that's the reason why they get them down quite quickly. And if you've got too long a lure, they're going to grab the tail. So I find the ghost wriggler is really good size, especially for your table size flathead, the ones that you're going to want to take home to eat. Bigger flathead, you probably want to use a bigger lure, but just the same, I've caught 70-80 centimetre flathead on a little ghost wriggler like this as well. So always just pays to keep a bit of an eye out and watch what's happening around you. You can see we've got some nice shallow water and some good conditions, and hopefully that's going to bring a few more fish. And we're on again. Looks like the white colour's the go, Billy. Get the old sidearm out, we'll get it ready. There he is. Again, not a huge fish. You can see how they swap their head side to side. I'm going to try and lead him in now. It's a tricky thing when you're fishing yourself to get your fish into the net, but you really want to just hold the net in the water a little bit and guide their head in. And when they turn around like that, you just want to let them turn around, guide them back in, get their head in the net, and then you got them up. Now he's actually, whoa, stay in there, Trigger. Oh, he's pinned right in the top of the mouth. That's actually good. Might have a look. He looks like he might be a good size. We are looking for a bit of a feed today, so this might be number one. You can see perfectly coloured, sitting behind that weed bed that we were just talking about. And yeah, beautiful little fish. Let's have a bit better look at him. Oh, nice. So he's going to go about 43, and he's a good size for us. Good size table eating fish, that one. So you can see pinned in the top, and you can see how the needle point jig goes right through, penetrates, holds him. He wasn't going to get away. Unless this got wrapped around his cutters over on the side like this and cut through there, you're probably fine. He was never going to get away. What you want to be careful of is when they get the lure inhaled right in there, they'll rasp through here. So you always want to keep checking your line just to be sure. So, alright, well, I'm going to look after this little fella, and it might be a trip back to the boat to put it.